let's get into this video. So her name is Sabrina Salvati. I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing it right. So I'm going to do my due diligence after this and make sure that I am. As you can see, I'm subscribed. Maybe I should join her as well. But let's take a look at this video. As I said, I'm going to skip around a little bit, but we're going to have an interesting conversation with Dr. Cornel West.
Why are they removing them from the ballot? Why, during this discussion here with Laura Coates and Cornel West, why is Laura trying to get him to drop out of the race? Listen to this.
Look, don't call it a comeback, but look who's back on the ballot. RFK Jr. The Wisconsin State Election Commission today.
Hold up. Oh, I saw what Aaron wrote. I gotta stop it. I had to stop. Yo, come on, man. Aaron wrote, only men. I don't sneeze. Sneezing is a sign of weakness. Sneezing is a sign of weakness. Facts, bro. Suck it up. Keep it in. Let me stop. All right, my bad. Let's keep going.
Rejecting Kennedy's request to withdraw after he suspended his campaign. Their ruling: once a candidate files nomination papers, they're on the ballot, quote, except in case of death. Now, another third-party candidate who can say on the Wisconsin ballot.
First off, what do y'all think about that? And I'm realizing that all of this stuff is so strategic, and none of us know. None of us know because obviously, we're fans of RFK over here. Y'all know that. But even with RFK dropping out, what did they decide to do? He wanted to be taken off of certain ballots or, that were battleground states and then remain on certain ballots that were not. So therefore, he can get his votes. And I think there's some incentives or things that he can earn just by getting a certain amount of votes for the next go around. Do y'all think that it's petty that now they won't take him off of those ballots? But now Cornel West, they're trying to take off we don't know. The one thing that is clear with this election is that the Democrats and the Republicans will do any and everything to win. And there's nothing that can't be compromised as far as principles, integrity on either side in order to get their candidate in office. And we are seeing it. We are seeing it. And the scariest part about it is because it sets a terrible tone for the rest of us, right? There's a popular scene in Remember the Titans, one of my favorite scenes where, who is it? Bertier is calling out Julius and he's saying that he's playing selfishly. He's playing selfishly. And if you've never seen Remember the Titans, I'm not going to get into it, but it's in Alexandria, Virginia. It's a high school that was desegregating. And yeah, the team came together. Obviously, you could tell there's a lot of issues or just things that came up. But the popular line in that movie is when Julius gets called out by Bertier for being selfish, and it tells him that attitude reflects leadership, Captain. Attitude reflects leadership. And that's what's so scary about the position that we're in right now. Think about all our leaders. And it's not just the presidential candidates. It's everybody. It's the influencers that we see on CNN, MSNBC, Fox. It's people across the board. It's our entertainers that are willing to just sell their soul, compromise anything in order to further their agenda, further their careers, and line their pockets. We see it across the board. So then we get to a position where we have the people that are in leadership that are acting without integrity, without morals, without values and principles, the things that we discuss every show. And how does that influence us? Now it has us more fearful, with more hatred. So therefore, we're willing to compromise our morals and values in order to, in our day-to-day, I'm talking about day-to-day, whether it's walking to Whole Foods or ShopRite, whatever it may be, and encountering somebody, just being rude to somebody, like whatever it may be, it is showing up in our day-to-day lives. I don't know if y'all can feel it. I know I can. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. And that's that line, attitude reflects leadership. That's why it's so important to have solid leadership that is not just based on winning by any means, that is not just based on simply money. It has to incorporate a lot of different things, as well as the principles that we want our communities to live by. So let's keep going.
Cornel West. He's one of 3 third-party candidates now still in the race, and it's the first time that West has qualified for the ballot in a swing state. It caps a string of recent ballot victories for Dr. West. But sometimes elections can create some pretty strange bedfellows. Democrats have backed some of the ballot challenges against West, and it appears that the left wing, West has an ally in his corner, the Republican Party. Reports suggest that GOP operatives are aiding in West's quest to get on the ballot. Why? Well, West could possibly peel away voters from Harris. And in an election that could be decided on the margins, every single vote matters. But how they're doing it, perhaps raising some eyebrows in Arizona, where West did not.
You know what's so funny? So if you're watching this, and maybe we just become so, I don't know, like immune to this, where we're not even realizing what's going on. We have a political commentator on the news, CNN, supposed to be an objective platform that conservatives, liberals, all of America can come to in order to get objective information and then make decisions based on it. She just talked about how Democrats are trying to keep Cornel West off the ballot. She's well aware of this. She's well aware of this. She highlighted the Republicans that are now working with Cornel West, or not working with, I don't know, working with Cornel West, but now they're trying to get Cornel West on the ballot because it works in their favor. Do I think that they like Cornel West? Absolutely not. But they're just doing it because it's going to take away votes from Kamala. But notice the only thing that she brought up. She's bringing up the integrity of the Republican Party, questioning the morals of them based on their decision making and why they're trying to push Cornel West. But shouldn't she also be asking and sharing information and wanting to inquire about the Democrats that are working to keep him out of the race? Or is she just working for the Democratic Party? Did y'all catch that? Because this is why you can't watch the news. You can't watch the news because it's so one-sided. These people are pushing their narrative, their agenda based on who they want to endorse and who's compensating their pockets. We all know, we hear about it. We're going to hear about it with Cornel West. Corporations are controlling our political parties. And not only are they controlling our political parties, but they're controlling our news sources, at least the mainstream ones.
Not qualify. One voter told the Associated Press she didn't know people visiting her home to collect her signatures were Republican-aligned operatives, adding her signature was, quote, forged. Now, independent presidential candidate Cornel West joins me now, and he certainly has taken issue with the association of those who have done the latter of which we speak. Dr. West, good evening. I'm glad that you are here because I would love for you to address some of the things that are being said. In particular, Dr. West, you're being criticized as somehow a spoiler for Democrats specifically, in part because you have received Republican support to get on the ballot. What is your reaction to the criticism, and who do you think your supporters will ultimately vote for if you yourself were not on the ballot?
Now, let's all remember something. It has been quite a while since CNN has had Dr. West on. Remember when he first...
Not only has it been quite a while since they've had him on, I want to be very clear. This is a tactic that is being used. We saw it with Mark Zuckerberg in his letter where MSNBC just didn't even report on it. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Mark Zuckerberg, the things that we talked about, saying that the Biden-Harris administration flexed their muscle in order to censor the things that were being put out on a public platform, the Meta platforms, and some other things that he identified in his letter, but they didn't even cover it. This interview, I cannot find on CNN. So shout out to Sabrina. I could not find this interview on CNN. And that's part of the reason why I'm reviewing Sabrina's. But, you know, it's cool. It's all good. I want to show her some love. But you can't find this video on CNN unless I'm tripping. I looked on YouTube. I couldn't find it. They are trying. This is just another form of censorship. But I guarantee you, if he would have said something that was favorable for the Democratic Party, that was in support of Kamala, that highlighted some good things that Kamala or Biden has done, they would show it. This is what censorship is. This is what misleading information is. And the only problem with it is, like, I wouldn't have a problem if CNN identified themselves as, hey, you know, we're with the Democrats. I think it's pretty clear that Fox is with the Republicans. CNN and maybe MSNBC, they're pretty clear. They're clear that they're with the Democrats, but the problem is the people that watch them. I think that the people that, tell me this is a quick question. I think the people that watch Fox are well aware that they are listening to biased news, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. The people that listen to CNN in particular look at it as if it's a platform that's objective. They actually believe in their minds that it's objective. Maybe that's because they listened to it for the last 40 years. I don't know. But when you're not able to see that, now you're receiving information thinking that it's objective when it's really just pushing one party, and you may not even be aware of something. I was talking to my mom yesterday, and I was saying that we were having a discussion, whatever. And I was saying that it's so funny that most people probably don't even know about Mark Zuckerberg's letter, because she didn't know about it, because they're only choosing to report on certain things that are favorable for their particular agenda and the party that they're supporting. That is a problem for us. That's a problem for us. Let me say us. But if because it's a problem for us, the solution is based on us. We have to then do our due diligence, go above and beyond. Maybe why don't we censor out some of the news stations that are not objective, so therefore we can get non-biased news and be able to make decisions on just the information and not somebody trying to persuade us. Now, let me actually, I saw Ant Row in the chat. I don't have a video to send, but we need to talk about the Venezuelan gang showing up and kicking people out of their homes in America. I got a video. It's queued up. After this, we'll watch that. So just remind me. Just remind me. The whole election's petty. This is a very petty election. It's extremely petty. It's extremely embarrassing. And it's so funny because us living in the quote unquote greatest country in the world, I can only imagine what other countries are looking at. Looking at us saying, you know, all the things that we say, all the propaganda that we're fed on this country and that country, the lies that we're being told. Imagine how we're looking towards to other people with this extremely petty election, with these lesser of two evil candidates, right? So hold on, let's Ant wrote, and I'm just as tired of Kamala's wokeness as well as Trump's rhetoric. It's it's bad. It's bad. And what's funny is, I don't know, y'all tell me, I think Trump actually has been trying to I think he's using a new strategy. I don't know if it's a lot of people think it's after he got shot. I actually think it was before that a bit, where I think he's trying to change his tune a little bit. And I think it's a little bit, it's probably too little too late for most people. But I don't know. Let me know if y'all are seeing that as well. But the point is, it doesn't matter. People are just changing their tune, not because they're trying to look internally and become the best version of themselves and work on the things that they need to work on. No, it's just strategy based on who do I need to appeal to. Y'all heard Kamala the other day. What was she talking about with the union members? I didn't even want to play the video. Like, I didn't even want to play the video because I always get accused of bashing her, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't like the Democrats. I don't like them. It just is what it is. And I told y'all I have a different feeling towards them than towards the Republicans. But I look at both of them as not on board or not on my team, not trying to do anything in my favor. They're just both trying to do whatever it takes to just win. Simple as that. They'll compromise anything. They'll compromise me. They'll compromise you, as long as that means them being in power so they can serve as the puppets for the puppet masters, the elite, these big pharma, and all these big corporations. It is what it is. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going with the video.
First announced, he was on CNN, I think twice, when he first announced Democracy Now! As well, Fox News, and all about in Michigan. A little bit. Same thing with Jill Stein, back on the ballot in Michigan and Wisconsin. So why are they bringing Dr. West on now again? Listen to this conversation.
Appreciate the question. I always enjoy to be in conversation with you. And your brilliance is undeniable, my dear sister. And it's always a blessing to
A
talk with you.
compliment coming
One
from the
is
likes
that,
of you. Thank you so much.
All right, let's go.
no, I'm just, my campaign's about truth, justice, and love. Truth about everything, and justice for everybody, and love across the board. But one, we have to recognize that we have such a corrupt system. It's just driven by big money, the billions of dollars that both major parties are going to have access to. And then the arbitrary power to just do anything. And all you have to do is look at the plight of my precious Yahoo 3, who have been so thoroughly mistreated, unjustly treated by arbitrary power of the government, which means what? Which means then that someone like myself, hardworking volunteers at work, breaking their necks and then being so viciously attacked by especially the Democratic Party, and then we go to look for lawyers, it's almost impossible to find a lawyer. You can find a libertarian lawyer that has certain...
Being attacked. You saw her? As if she's confused. So being attacked, especially by the Democratic Party. This is somebody, Cornel West, who has stood up for the Democrats. I believe he was working with Bernie, but I believe he supported a lot of Democrats in the past. He's always had his own take on certain things, where I believe he was challenging a lot of the things that they were doing, or challenging them to do more, to kind of act on the things that they would talk about during the debates and the primaries and all those things, but never carry them into when they actually get elected. Perfect example of that is reparations. No matter how you feel about it, you just have to no matter how you feel about it, I think it's important for us to recognize that. Why does it come up? Why did it come up during the debates in 2020? But then when people got in office, nobody said anything about it. It's just another example, regardless of how you feel about reparations. It's just another example of people dangling something in front of a group when they're looking to get their support, but then never actually implementing those things when they actually have the power. Let's keep going.
Republican Association, but concerned about each person voting. And that's very important. We just had Brother Joseph of the Socialist Equality Party. He had to speak strongly on our behalf, even the differences that he recognized that we have. We have a system that is so undemocratic that both parties have very little interest in democracy in the end, which is not to say they're identical, but in the end, they'll do anything to win. And some of us trying to hold out for some kind of integrity and honesty. And yes, we could be manipulated, but I've been quite explicit. I don't want any Trump gangster spies, operative infiltrators. And at the same time, the Democrats trying to crush us like cockroaches, but we rise. We're still on the move and on a variety of different ballots.
Bernie Sanders has called out the Democratic Party, saying that they colluded against him. Tulsi Gabbard has called out the Democratic Party and a lot of the things that they've done and exposed a lot of the things. And then I believe then she got on that watch list with the Friendly Skies or whatever it's called. RFK Jr. has criticized the Democratic Party and stepped away from it. Not only have they criticized it, but they've completely stepped away from it. Now, Bernie Sanders is the only one hanging on. I don't know why. Honestly, he's the one that probably should be most offended by them for what they did to him after he won the first 3 primaries. And then all the other candidates in that primary colluded against him and then came together to just say, okay, yeah, we want Joe Biden. So therefore, that's what we're doing, even though he was winning the primaries. But for whatever reason, he seems to have this just to be stuck to this particular party, no matter how much they violate him. And maybe it's the same thing that a lot of us do. This whole Stockholm syndrome. It's this entire Stockholm syndrome where your abuser, you start to fall in love with your abuser. And you'll look at life in a particular way where it's like this person can continue to abuse you, continue to violate you, but you will continuously support them because you just want that connection and you do not want to do the work to look elsewhere, or you're looking at it as if the evil I know is better than whatever else I don't know. I don't know. Y'all tell me.
Why?
So I was very surprised that CNN allowed Dr. West to come on and say that the Democrats took him off the ballot, because they've had Jill Stein on, I believe, once earlier when she announced she was running, but they really don't like Jill because they still blame her for the reason why Hillary Clinton lost, even though Hillary Clinton won the
to get on the ballot.
To just drop out and give some support to Kamala.
Why is it that you think Democrats, and especially as his head lawyers in particular, are not coming to your aid in order to support your efforts to get on the ballot? Do you think that it is somehow a suggestion that you indeed are a threat to the Democratic ticket?
Well, anytime the truth is a threat to any set of lies and crimes. When I talk about Democratic Party, Sister Harris being genocide denier, genocide enabler, not talking about poverty, not talking about mass incarceration, not a word about reparations, not talking about wealth inequality, but the opportunity society, then just those words constitute a certain kind of threat, it seems to me. But of course, at the same time, we have to be very honest and recognize that the Democratic Party has had so many different forms of rot that are operative. And it poses itself as a major opposition to the fascism of Trump. And it's sad to see, Brother Kennedy has a right to be wrong, but he's siding with fascists. It's immoral. But if the only response to fascism when all of its lies and crimes is going to be more lies and crimes, then that's not a genuine anti-fascism. You're just postponing it. You're just putting it off. And if America doesn't have the capacity to provide a genuine response, then what are we talking about? We're headed toward fascism. We've got to be able to tell the truth about it.
And he's telling his truth. He's calling out the Democrats, but it's not like he's just siding with the Republicans. And this is the dilemma that a lot of us had when RFK Jr. chose to support Trump. It's a real dilemma. Can I bring myself to, okay, I was supporting RFK Jr. Trump looks like he's going to give him a little bit of a platform, may put him in his cabinet, but even before is actually giving him the platform that he didn't previously have to speak on some of these issues that matter to us, the people that were supporting RFK Jr. Now, one thing that Cornel West brought up, with RFK Jr. that I want to kind of go a different way on is I was listening to something where they were saying, like, why would RFK Jr. Endorse Trump at this point? And I think Trump, I don't even know, Trump may have even said it now that I'm thinking about it, but this proper strategy, a lot of people were saying, was RFK Jr. should have, taken this race a little bit longer down the line. He should have committed to his candidate or his, presidential run a little bit longer, because then he would have been able to grow his leverage, grow his influence, and have more leverage when it comes to negotiating a particular position in Trump's cabinet or something that could be a little bit more official. Now, I don't know which is better. Just throwing it out there.
I love this one here, Siesta in the Sun. I think that's the last time Dr. West will be on CNN. Yeah,
I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised by that, because that's exactly what they do. Like I said, they wouldn't even show this interview. They didn't even show it's not on their YouTube pages. I couldn't find it. So I'm not surprised by that. Let's skip ahead a little bit.
No, I don't think it's a matter of being used. It's a matter of presenting the strongest case. And I come out of Legacy, Martin King, Fannie Lou Hamer, Rabbi Heschel, Edward Zahid, Dorothy Day.
So they were asking him if they believe that he's being used, or if he believes that he's being used for the Republican Party. So I'll go back a little bit.
I think it's a matter of being used. It's a matter of presenting the strongest case. And I come out of Legacy, Martin King, Fannie Lou Hamer, Rabbi Heschel, Edward Zahid, Dorothy Day. I'm trying to keep that legacy alive in the context of electoral politics and tell the truth about American imperial policies, not just in the Middle East, but around the world, about predatory capitalist processes and legacies of white supremacy still operating that you don't hear too much in the Democratic Party these days. Now they got a black sister running, but you don't get serious talk about black people's situation, plight, and predicament, how that relates to issues of poverty and issues of class and issues.
So, blackface, right? what is it? What is that saying that people used to always say? Black faces in high places or something like that. But what he's saying is that, Kamala, and they do this a lot with, they did it with Barack, definitely did it with Barack, where they'll use a person's blackness. And this is just marketing, right? You use whatever you need to use in order to make your product seem like the proper solution for whatever issue it is that you're saying that you're solving. Right? Oh, you're impoverished. Black people, the black community, your lives are terrible. You're impoverished. There's a wealth gap. There's all these different things. There's no home ownership. You can't afford these things. Y'all saw the video that we put up before where they acting like black people don't even got internet, don't know how to use the internet. And they're going to be the solution for it. So therefore, they're just marketing their candidate to appeal to a particular group. That's all we're seeing. So Kamala, as much as she can identify with the black stuff, it's important for us to realize that, okay, she's not doing anything specifically for black people. She said it, and neither here nor there. You may think that she shouldn't do anything specifically for the black people. That's not the point. But when you're marketing yourself and you have all these people that you guys are paying and encouraging to get out there and pretty much trying to get us to align with you because you're black, then you damn well better do something specifically for black people. You've done stuff specifically for the Asian community. You've done stuff specifically for a lot of other communities. You did something specific when it came to the anti-Semitic bill, the Asian hate, during 2020, those times. So why not do something specifically for black people? If that's how you're going to market yourself. I don't know. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. It's just phoniness all over the place. I don't have high expectations as far as the morals of any of these candidates and their parties. This is just the system. This is the system that we've chosen. And the reason why I say it's the system that we've chosen is because this is what happens when you continuously allow these type of candidates to represent us. They represent us. And what do I mean by I allow them, or we allow them? By continuing to vote for the lesser of two evils. That's how you vote. You vote with your vote. You vote with your vote, right? If you do not want a particular candidate, I don't know, maybe the best thing to do, maybe 20 years ago, 20-some years ago, to make a decision to say like, hey, we're getting together. The people are getting together. We got these Republican groups. We got these Democratic groups. We see ourselves going into a particular direction that does not align with the morals and principles and the values of America and the America that we want to live in. We see fear. We feel hatred. We're scared to death of things. And that's not the community that we want to be a part of when it comes to America. Now, if the actual people got together, then that will put pressure on the candidates. That will put pressure on the companies that are funding the candidates, and will put pressure on these news stations that are getting funded by the big corporations, because they would say like, okay, the people are letting it be known that they are no longer going to support these particular initiatives and agendas. So that's an opportunity, right? All these big corporations, they're all opportunists, just like the politicians. So when you have opportunists, that word sounds funny. When you have opportunists, then you have to provide them and force them to see an opportunity based on the things that we're supporting. If we're not supporting the candidates that they're putting out there, then somebody else, like an RFK Jr., like a third party candidate, may see an opportunity to say like, hey, now's the time. Or it may encourage the Democrats to say, hey, there's an opportunity here. It's not that we actually agree with these principles, but that's where the people are leaning. So therefore, that's where we're going to take our agendas, our initiatives. And that's how it should operate. We should be the ones leading them, not them leading us. When we said attitude reflects leadership, we have to understand that we are the leaders. If we're living in a society where we can't trust the current leadership, then what do we need to do? We need to change that. We need to say, hey, actually, we need to take back some of that power. I believe that's more of a libertarian perspective, but we need less government. You have not earned a position. I've said it before that we, as a people, I do not think that we deserve a democracy. I don't believe that we can handle a democracy. I think that we've been too We've been made to be too stupid. I'm going to be totally honest. And I'm saying I'm including myself in that. We've been made to be too stupid to even know how to handle a democracy. Just look around at the things that we vote for, the things that we care about, the things that are the main things that we're deciding who we're going to vote for. The things that we push to the side. We're not worried about the diseases. We're not worried about the food. We're not worried about the things that we're putting in our bodies as far as the vaccines. We're not worried about any of these things. All we do is we just jump on the field. Hey, coach, who we playing this week? Oh, we're playing them. Democrats, we're playing the Republicans. All right, so yeah, whatever we need to do to win. That's the mindset. Let's keep going.
Oh, let's hear that part again. He said you have a black sister running, but
no, I don't think it's a matter of being used. It's a matter of presenting the strongest case. And I come out of legacy, Martin King, Fannie Lou Hamer, Rabbi Heschel, Edward Said, Dorothy Day. I'm trying to keep that legacy alive in the context of electoral politics and tell the truth about American imperial policies, not just in the Middle East, but around the world, about predatory capitalist processes and legacies of white supremacy still operating that you don't hear too much in the Democratic Party these days. Now you got a black sister running, but you don't get serious talk about black people's situation, plight, and predicament, how that relates to issues of poverty and issues of class and issues of socioeconomic.
All right, real quick, we're going to get off of this video, but I want to play the last clip. Then we're going to move to a video that I want to show y'all that the Trump campaign put together. And pretty funny.
With the white supremacy, meaning what? Meaning, in fact, that it is very difficult to keep this legacy alive, given the fact that there's not a lot of space in America is love and giving love to love. And
I just want to fast forward to the part where she asked him pretty much to endorse Kamala. Hold on.
The Harris campaign, yes or no? Did you
if he suspends his
given what you think
campaign
is lacking from the Harris campaign, should you not continue with your own candidacy? Would you, in any respect, be open to working with that campaign or endorsing the Harris campaign? Yes or no?
No, I would never sell my precious Palestinians down the river. And
he said no, right?
No, I would never sell my precious Palestinians down the river, and I'd never have poor people pushed to the side in order to jump on the bandwagon of the Democratic Party. And of course, unlike Kennedy, never even think about the gangster Trump. No, we are trying to be true to our calling, and we are proceeding to November 5th.
Stand on it, bro.
Dr. Cornel West, not a yes or no, but thorough nonetheless.
She said not a yes or no. He started off by saying no and made it very clear. I don't know. How do these people get into these positions, man? I don't even understand this. How do these people get qualified for these positions? They're terrible journalists, in my opinion.
Nonetheless, thank you. I hope the voters certainly understand your point.
It's really no. I'm going to the end. I'm sorry about that.
No, I hear you.
Don't apologize, bro. You said no from the beginning.
I hear you. I'm not I hear you. I understand. Dr. West, thank you so much.
So he said.
Weird times we're living in. Weird times we're living in. All right, so I want to show y'all this video. Hold on. Tell me y'all gonna laugh at this one. Y'all gonna laugh.